Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Skinner, and I am the Vice President in Newfoundland and Labrador for the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, or ACOA, as it's fondly known in this community. And for today as well, I'm also your MC. Before we start the official program, I do have a couple of quick housekeeping notes. Washroom facilities are located just outside this room. And in the event of an emergency, which I hope doesn't happen, there are exits on the upper and lower parking lots, and everyone is asked to muster on the upper lot. So firstly, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the ancestral, unceded homelands of the Beothuk. Today, these lands are home to a diverse population of Indigenous and other peoples. We would also like to acknowledge, with respect, the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq, the Innu, the Inuit, and South Inuit of this province. So today's announcement is very exciting for everyone gathered in this room, and indeed for all those in ocean innovation and entrepreneurship across Atlantic Canada. As most of you know, weather wasn't on our side the first time we tried to hold this event. We've had just a couple of weather issues in the past few weeks, and I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. However, today is bright and sunny, albeit a little bit cold. But we do have a great turnout here, so thank you to everyone for coming today. Before I get started, I would like to acknowledge our special guests here today. We do have Minister Davis. He's Minister of Tourism, Culture, Industry and Innovation with the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador. And of course, we have Memorial's President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Kachanowski. We also do have a couple of board members from the Ocean Supercluster joining us today. Uni Fier, Vice President of Offshore Operations with Equinor. Uni is in the room somewhere, yes. And we also have Glenn Blackwood, who's known to a couple of people in this room. And Glenn is Vice President at Memorial University for the Marine Institute. So a warm welcome to all of you. So I am delighted to be here today in this stunning facility. The beautiful St. John's Harbour is certainly a fitting backdrop for today's announcement, providing a window into not only what this initiative will mean for Atlantic Canada's new and emerging ocean companies, but also into the incredible opportunity for accelerated ocean innovation that we have in front of us. Since the agency's inception, ACOA has been active in all areas of the ocean innovation ecosystem, from education to R&D and commercialization, from startups to export, and across all industry verticals. Together with other federal departments such as Innovation, Science, and Economic Development, and our provincial partners, we have been working in and making a significant impact in Atlantic Canada's ocean economy for decades. The bonus now is that there is a dedicated private sector-led focus on finding ways to increase the economic benefits from this resource and to strengthen our position on the global stage. Atlantic Canada's geography, our history, and our culture is fundamentally linked to the water. We have worked in, on, and around it for centuries. Yes, it is to varying degrees in each province, but Atlantic Canada borders on the ocean and we get much of our livelihood from it. For example, in New Brunswick, we can look to the aquaculture industry. In Nova Scotia, shipbuilding. In Prince Edward Island, the lobster industry. And in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have oil and gas. And these just scratch the surface. Like the ocean itself, the opportunities that stretch out before us are truly amazing. The excitement and momentum building around Canada's Ocean Supercluster continues to gain strength as new partnerships are formed and new projects are launched. Theirs is the kind of vision, commitment, and innovation I know the Government of Canada was seeking when it created the Supercluster Initiative. Canada's Ocean Supercluster will mean new opportunities for people right across Canada, from coast to coast to coast. And as I look around this room, I can see that already beginning to unfold. So on that note, let's find out the details of why we're all gathered here today. Kendra McDonald is the CEO of Canada's Ocean Supercluster. I've had the pleasure of working with Kendra on several initiatives in recent years, and I can personally attest to her commitment, her passion, and her ability to get things done. Kendra is responsible for leading the Ocean Supercluster to build Canada's ocean economy into one of the country's most significant and sustainable value-creating economic industries. I would like to now invite Kendra to please come forward to share the specifics of today's investment in ocean innovation in Atlantic Canada.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's truly a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Karen, so much for the introduction. Just to build on what Karen has shared, there is certainly something very exciting happening here in the region. An increased cohesiveness, an energy, and a cooperation that is helping us in the ocean internationally. As Karen shared, we have an incredible history, an exciting story to tell about being an ocean nation. What that has meant for our past, and perhaps even more importantly, what that means for our future. Before I get into the details, I would like to share a new video for us on Canada's ocean opportunity as the very foundation for what we are doing as a cluster and really why we're here today.
With the longest coastline in the world, fourth largest ocean territory, and significant Arctic territory, Canada's biggest asset is also its biggest opportunity. Our ocean story has a long history that has helped shape us as a nation, providing a source of food, energy, transportation, business, and a way of life. Today, in the face of a $3 trillion global ocean opportunity, we are answering the call for sustainable economic growth. Striving for balance and expanding ocean opportunities while also addressing ocean health. We are building solutions to shared ocean challenges for the global market, developing cutting-edge ocean technology, facilitating greater connectivity, increasing data exchange, expanding talent, capability, and diversity, and making this the best place to start and grow an ocean company. And we're doing this by bringing ocean industries together in a way that's never been done before. Leaders in fisheries, aquaculture, offshore resources, transport, defense, marine renewables, bioresources, and ocean technologies are working together to rapidly innovate, commercialize solutions, reach global markets, and grow the ocean economy. Together, we are advancing Canada's position as a global leader in ocean. Canada's Ocean Supercluster, changing the way ocean business is done.
So if you've taken anything away from the video that we've shared, I hope it's this. So firstly, that Canada's Ocean Supercluster is growing the ocean economy in a way that has never been done before. We are bringing together ocean industries in fisheries, in aquaculture, defense, bioresources, offshore resources, marine renewables, shipping, and the list goes on, to develop game-changing, innovative ocean projects where the biggest of ocean enterprises work with smaller companies to rapidly innovate and sell their products to the world. And in lockstep, we will grow our ecosystem, increasing capabilities and talent, where new companies start and scale and help deliver on the kinds of transformative projects that are coming through the pipeline. And finally, this is a collaborative effort. It truly will take all of us. So if you aren't already involved, I strongly encourage you to find a way to do so. So by 2030, the global ocean economy will double in size to a $3 trillion opportunity. This outpaces the projected growth of the broader global economy by 20%. So if there was ever a time for Atlantic Canada and Canada to emerge as a global leader in ocean, that time is now. And that is the work of Canada's Ocean Supercluster. So this leads us into some of the details of today's announcement. Unfortunately, Minister O'Regan could not be with us today due to his work, which kept him in Ottawa. I did speak to him relatively late last night, and I know he really would like nothing more than to be here to be a part of today's announcement. In his absence, I would certainly like to acknowledge how much of a champion he has been for Canada's Ocean Supercluster, along with many others, since the start, and being part of the vision and what it means for all of us. 2 years ago, on March 16th, 2018, we gathered to celebrate the announcement of the Supercluster. And at that time, the minister said, "The Ocean Supercluster represents a lasting, positive difference for this province and for this region. A dynamic partnership between government, industry, and universities that will allow us to break ground on new research while shortening the pathway to commercialization. If we hold this course and continue to work together, the International Center of Excellence will stand without equal, and it will be a source of pride for generations of Atlantic Canadians." Today's announcement is a key part of the path that he spoke about. So you certainly don't survive in Atlantic Canada without having innovation built into your DNA. And today, we get to come together and celebrate the latest milestone in our history of innovation. Today, we celebrate unprecedented investment and collaboration, a regional project and partnership, bringing together 6 of Atlantic Canada's leading incubators, accelerators, and support organizations to make Atlantic Canada one of the best places to start and grow ocean companies. We're calling it the Ocean Startup Project. Ta-da! Yay! A nearly $7 million investment in our region and in the companies that will form and grow, helping to shape our economy and the next chapter of our ocean story. $3.9 million from Canada's Ocean Supercluster, $535,000 from ACOA, and $2.4 million from the Atlantic provinces and 6 project partners. The 6 project partners have a shared passion and commitment to tackle the ocean tech startup gap. And so what does that mean, the ocean tech startup gap? Essentially, this region has global expertise when it comes to ocean. From gravity-based structures to processed crab cakes, our industries and post-secondary institutions are at the leading edge of technology. But as with many other Canadian sectors, we struggle with global commercialization of what we know. The Ocean Startup Project will help us build a thriving and inclusive ocean innovation ecosystem so that we can take that expertise and sell it to the world while bringing the benefits and growth back home. Not only that, but it will help create new opportunities for both urban and rural communities by helping take their knowledge from traditional industries and view it through an entrepreneurial lens. With cafes and other activities already in the works for Corner Brook, Cape Breton, Shippagan, and Yarmouth, the project lays the foundation for game-changing innovation across the region. So before I wrap up, just a quick look ahead at 2020. It is going to be a big year for the supercluster, and we're very excited about it. In many ways, our last year was a startup year. We spent a lot of time laying the foundation, and now we're entering into an exciting period of activation. In less than a year, we've onboarded over 130 members across 9 provinces and 1 territory, and representing over 13 ocean industries. Our first technology leadership project, the Ocean Vision, led by Kraken Robotics, is underway. With much anticipation, in addition to today's almost $7 million investment, we have a number of other announcements on the horizon and exciting proposals coming through the door. Momentum is building. We can feel the energy, and I think this room is a great indication. Beautiful Friday, sunny afternoon, and you're all here, so that's awesome. So thank you again for the opportunity to be here. This is a big day for ocean in Atlantic Canada and for Canada's Ocean Supercluster. And I want to thank the Government of Canada and all our partners for helping make this project possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kendra. I know you and your team have been working tirelessly to get this and other projects up and running. If the amount of nights that you've probably not spent in your bed, I think I see you more in Halifax Airport than anywhere else. So congratulations on this and all the accomplishments thus far. In the true spirit of collaboration, each of the Atlantic provinces has also contributed to the Ocean Startup Project, and I'd like to recognize them and acknowledge their support. In that vein, I would like to invite the Honourable Bernard Davis, Minister of Tourism, Culture, Industry and Innovation, to say a few words on behalf of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Minister Davis.
Thank you, Karen. I know that's a mouthful. I have to say it from time to time as well. President Kaczynski, Kendra McDonald, tough act to follow, by the way. Michelle Sims, I'm glad I'm speaking before you as well, so that works out well for me. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see so many smiling faces, so many people from not just the tech industry, but just the industries around our province that support that industry as well. So thank you for coming out. And it's unfortunate Seamus couldn't be here because I know how important this is to him, and I know how hard he's worked for it. So I'd be remiss if I didn't take that opportunity to say a big shout out to Minister O'Regan. It's no surprise that Newfoundland and Labrador has the largest ocean economy in Canada. Ocean has been the backbone of our economy for centuries, extending to sectors such as fishery, aquaculture, oil and gas, shipbuilding, transportation, and technology. And ocean continues to play a significant role in our lives in Newfoundland and Labrador. We have a tradition of innovation related to ocean, and it continues to be of critical importance for economic diversification. We are home to outstanding networks of companies, institutions, R&D facilities, and creating some of the world's most innovative technologies, and we are poised to meet the increasing global demand. As Kendra said earlier, the world's ocean economy is projected to double in size by 2030. All I can say is what an opportunity that is for us. The impact of this growth will be profound and felt globally. Newfoundland and Labrador, along with the rest of Atlantic Canada, want to own the major portion of this growth. And the Ocean Supercluster is the primary mechanism to make this happen. Together, with each of our unique assets, we are a force. And it won't stop there. Canada should be a world leader in the ocean economy. And we all need to work together to make that happen. That is why the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador is pleased to support the Ocean Innovation Ecosystem Project, including a financial contribution of $100,000. This pan-Atlantic collaboration with our neighbours in PEI, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia aligns efforts to build the best ecosystem for ocean tech startups in the world. Leading this project in Newfoundland and Labrador is Genesis. I've had the pleasure of visiting Genesis on a number of occasions, and all I've got to say is wow. Hopefully you get the opportunity. If you haven't been there, drop by. Michelle and her team are fantastic. This is a business incubator which has been building and strengthening the province's emerging tech sector for over 20 years. I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Michelle for the great work that her and her entire team does with Genesis, working with other incubators, accelerators, and support organizations in Atlantic Canada to develop this collective vision for this initiative. The Government of Newfoundland and Labrador recognizes that innovation and technology are vital to the province's economy, and with the collaborative strength of the Ocean Supercluster and Atlantic-wide initiatives, such as the Innovation Ecosystem Project, Canada will indeed be a leader in ocean technology. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here, and just look out the beautiful windows here. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also say thank you to President Kaczynski for what you sit in here today. This was a dream of his, a vision of his, and I think that deserves a round of applause. For a little boy that grew up on Freshwater Road, this view is beautiful to me, for sure. So thank you very much for keeping that space.
Thank you very much, Minister Davis. Our next speaker is likely no stranger to anyone in this room. Melody Pardoe is the Chief Engagement Officer at the Ocean Supercluster. She has been an active leader within Atlantic Canada's innovation ecosystem for quite some time and has lots of experience growing tech startups. So I would like to invite Melody to come and have a few words. There you are.
Thank you, Karen. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you very much for joining us here today. A special thank you to Michelle Sims and our friends here at Genesis for hosting us this afternoon. Genesis is one of the many organizations that have supported the Ocean Supercluster on this journey, and we greatly appreciate your support. Thank you also to Minister Davis for being here with us for this important milestone. In my role, I have the pleasure of working with our members through our innovation ecosystem strategy, and I'm thrilled to be at this juncture, a time that we'll look back on as game-changing for how we support new entrepreneurs in Atlantic Canada. We also look forward to new collaborations and partnerships that will be created through the Ocean Startup Project, both in the Atlantic region and across the country. I would like to give a shout out to everyone involved. There are many people. And a special thank you to Melissa O'Rourke, our Innovation Ecosystem Program Manager. This project is grounded in the goal of fostering new, innovation-driven startups. Why? A high density of innovative companies is directly correlated to economic growth, more efficiencies, new jobs, and wealth creation. More and more people are turning their attention to the opportunity that the ocean economy presents. And for the partners in this project, the goal is to create pathways for the aspiring entrepreneurs to realize that opportunity. Organizations participating in this project are aligned by the value of collaborating with each other to build our innovation ecosystem into the best place in the world to launch and grow an ocean tech company. You will hear today that this is the first pan-Atlantic collaboration where leaders in the innovation ecosystem came together to leverage our collective strengths and address an urgent opportunity. This project provides aspiring entrepreneurs, curious researchers, and existing startups with opportunities and resources to build market-driven ventures, which in the ocean economy, as you've heard today, represents a $3 trillion opportunity over the next decade. The ocean is changing. Big companies are looking for solutions to the challenges they face as operators in this changing environment. These solutions can come from the amazing research within our university labs, from entrepreneurs working within industry, from technology startups currently operating in other sectors, students, and really anyone who has a passion for change. The Ocean Startup Project has 5 strategic elements. Engage Cafes are small collision events to foster new founder relationships and showcase inspiring ocean company stories. The boot camps will give new founding teams the skills and the resources they need to turn their idea into a startup. The challenge competition showcases problems identified by our industry members and offers financial support and mentorship to new teams as they develop solutions. Lab to Market is all about equipping researchers with the business skills they need to succeed as founders, getting research out of the lab. And the new Creative Destruction Lab, Ocean Stream, is a seed stage program for massively scalable science companies and a platform for investors to invest in them. So to share more about this exciting opportunity and all of the things that the project represents, it's my pleasure to introduce Michelle Sims, the CEO of the Genesis Center. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Melody, and good afternoon, everyone. Minister Davis, Dr. Kechanowski, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. It was in this very room some 10 months ago that the idea for this project first started flowing. Since that time, ideas have evolved into plans and people into teams. And we developed a strategy and a work plan, established a vision and a value set, and have secured financial and in-kind support to turn this project into an operation. That makes today and this announcement a very exciting one. The Ocean Startup Project is a pan-Atlantic collaboration of Creative Destruction Lab Atlantic, Genesis, Nova Scotia's InnovaCorp, the New Brunswick Innovation Foundation, Prince Edward Islands Bio Alliance, and Springboard Atlantic. Our collaborative vision is to build the best innovation ecosystem for ocean tech startups in the world. Together, we developed a 24-month strategy to create and grow ocean technology companies. It focuses on funnel development in the first year and company acceleration in year 2. Funnel development projects include Engage Cafes and boot camps, a global challenge competition, and the Lab to Market program, as well as Creative Destruction Lab Oceans. Acceleration in year 2 includes the establishment of CDL Oceans and its own stream, as well as entry into accelerator and incubation programs for startups throughout Atlantic Canada. Earlier this week, we launched our first of a series of Engage Cafes in Corner Brook, Newfoundland. I think more than 45 people showed up and were in attendance, and it was held at Grenfell College there, so it was an exciting event for sure. These cafes will happen in all communities or many communities throughout Atlantic Canada. As the teams are created, they will filter into a Pan-Atlantic startup boot camp to help the entrepreneurs further develop their business ideas. The Ocean Innovation Challenge competition will attract and develop new ocean startups from around the world to move to Atlantic Canada. Driven by the immense amount of support and resources for ocean technology companies that exist in this region, and I want to shout out to a couple of particular ones like the Marine Institute we have here in Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as Cove in Halifax, Nova Scotia. This competition is expected to generate an immense amount of interest and is really expected to be an exciting one for us. The Lab to Market Oceans program is a collaboration between Memorial University and Dalhousie University with support from UNB and UPEI. That program will help develop new startup ventures from ocean-based research at universities and research labs. CDL Oceans will undertake International Ocean Venture Attraction for its program. CDL is a seed stage program for massively scalable science and technology-based companies. CDL has specialty streams in artificial intelligence, health, space, and we're now happy to include oceans. Through the many activities set out in our work plan, we will engage thousands of people. We will seek out community leaders, industry innovators, researchers, students, and entrepreneurs to work together to further realize the potential of our ocean economy. From the 4 core activities in our project, we expect to help more than 30 new ocean technology companies flourish and grow in Atlantic Canada. Starting an ocean technology company is no easy feat, and there are many in this audience today who can attest to that. The complexity involved when dealing with the ocean, particularly with some ocean industries like oil and gas, environmental, and transportation, cannot be understated. Regulatory and certification hurdles, pressures and material testing, and safety concerns all pose additional challenges to those operating businesses in the ocean. The upside, however, is tremendous. Canada's ocean industries contribute over $36 billion to our nation's GDP, of which 75% comes from Atlantic Canada. And I think I've heard every speaker say it so far today. The OECD anticipates that by 2030, the world's ocean economy will double to $3 trillion US. This project would certainly not be possible without the support of Canada's Ocean Supercluster and the Government of Canada. Their support, as well as the support from ACOA, all 4 Atlantic provinces, as well as MITAX, has been essential in getting this project on the right course. It is my pleasure also today to introduce Don Grant. Don is our new Executive Director for the project. Don, do you want to just give a quick wave? There he is. He is intimately familiar with how difficult it can be to get an ocean company up and running. Don is the co-founder of an ocean company in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and he's been very busy these past few weeks building out his team, establishing event locations across Atlantic Canada, and building out a strong partner network to help us bring this project to fruition. In closing, I would like to say a special thank you to all of our partners, funders, and supporters. We have assembled a stellar team of people, including Don Grant, Malcolm Fraser, who's here today as well, Jeff White, Jeff Larson, Daryl Genge, and Rory Francis, to see this project through, and without them, none of it would be possible. Today is an exciting day for us, and we are looking forward to working together to build the best innovation ecosystem for ocean tech startups in the world right here in Atlantic Canada. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and to Melody as well. I think Kendra used the phrase that this was an unprecedented investment, but I will also say it's an unprecedented collaboration that we're seeing going on in the ecosystem as well. I would say we have a very strong and productive relationship with Michelle and her team at Genesis, and have had that for years. And Michelle, I would say with your leadership as well as with the other partners, it really gives us every confidence that this project will indeed have a very long and lasting impact on our region's ocean economy. So in closing, I would like to thank everyone for coming out on this gorgeous sunny day to participate in this event. I would say to watch this space very carefully in the coming months, because I think it's going to be a very busy year ahead for the Ocean Startup Project, and indeed for the Supercluster. And finally, I'd just like to say thank you to the Emera Innovation Exchange, and Michelle, to your team at Genesis. And I know you've had some volunteers helping to make this event possible, and it's wonderful work as usual. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.